Yes. Wait. Hi guys. My name is Bright Izuyon. I am a visual artist, a multi-disciplinary artist actually, based in Lagos, Nigeria. And yeah, today is kind of like a different type of video. I'm not going to talk about psychological hurdles faced by creatives today. Today I'm talking about my art and why I make my work the way I make my work. A double piece thing, painting, filmmaking, design. But the thing is that I'm actually finding my voice still with filmmaking. But where I've actually found like a really loud voice is with painting. So that's what I'm going to talk about today. If you see my pieces, like if you've seen most of my works, my paintings, you would have noticed that I use a lot of natural materials. I use quite raw, unfinished, crude mineral oils. If you look closely, I tend to use bright, vibrant colors that can be naturally found, but are actually also rare. If you noticed, it's not every day in this part of the world, like in West Africa, that you get to see pink. You can see the pink on your skies. You just have to be skies. It just have to be someone that watches the sky or to notice the hours. You notice that at twilight you get to see some shades of pink, some shades of orange, and sometimes just after about an hour you get to see some pale blue, not the regular sky blue that I used to. There's a whole philosophy behind this, and that's what I'm going to walk you through today. I remember someone asking me how I come up with all these ideas in my head. It's more like a language, and language is meant for communication. The use of colors, the symbolism in my work is my language to communicate the thing that communicate the things that I actually really have to communicate, to speak my mind, to communicate the voices that are loudest in my head. I'm from a background where things are not nurtured, to be honest, where dreams go to die. That's the place where I'm from. It's no news to the rest of the world that this part of the world, things go to die. Dreams actually, in general, go to die. So my work is like a form of resistance. There's my own way of resistance. That's how I know how to talk. That's how I know how to speak. That's why it feels like. So that's where I get all the inspirations I'm getting. These are not inspirations. These are things that need to be said. I am a multi-disciplinary artist. I was born in Lagos, Nigeria, and still in Lagos, Nigeria. And everything that I know about art, I taught myself. So that's to say, I'm a self-taught artist. And it wasn't by choice. I would have loved to, get the proper art education if I had the resources to, or if my environment, nurtured that. But I, just like every African household, I was, pushed to do something that guarantees financial security in the long run, but it just didn't work out. We are deeply rooted somewhere. Our present reality is a huge influence on what happens next, right? And our present reality has a huge influence from what has happened in the past, right? And this same present reality is what's going to influence what's going to happen in the future. If not held by the horn, it's just going to be another future that we couldn't hold on to. The most part of my work is centered around discerning, learning, and non-learning. It's in the sense that paying attention to what's actually true about where we are right now, about the things around us that shape us, socio-political issues, political definers, religious definers, and even habitual definers. Part of my work is trying to unlearn things on canvas and trying to preach a gospel of saying, oh, can we all be nurturers? Can we all nurture instead of kill? Right? And sometimes it's me trying to throw more light on something that I learned lately. And it's usually, it can be something from life experiences. It can be something from, traumas that I actually found a way to heal from. And it can be something of, the world at large and how it's affecting me or a vast majority of people, probably in a bad way, probably in a good way, probably just a definitive way. And I feel like there has to be a lot more consciousness to the subject. Let's talk about materials and symbolism in my work. I use a lot of green, I use a lot of blue, I use a lot of water, natural elements, water, sky. I use probably grasses, mineral oils. In the course of using all these materials, I use them in the raw form. They're not usually too refined, they're not usually looking too good or too beautiful. I just use them in a way that shows that they are in transition. Like, I use some elements to indicate time, which is time and seasons, which is that's why I have a heavy use of sky element is water, which doesn't have a fixed state in science, or better say character, which doesn't have a fixed character. It just takes form depending on its surroundings, or depending on take forms depending on its surrounding, weather, and where it's being put in. So this is not just by coincidence. This is to show that there is a potential. It is to show that the rawness I use in the mineral oils is just to show the ability, the chance, the opportunity for potential. It's about becoming, and it's also to show that there's 1,001 ways. There's 1,001 ways that this thing could go. So why don't you just nurture? Why don't you just nurture? Every element I bring into my pieces that symbolizes some things. This is like a symbolism of time. Some things are just symbols to show growth. Some things are symbols to, show motion. And some things are symbols to just show acceptance. I touch a lot of topics with my work. I touch a lot of topics, from socio-political topics to spiritual topics. But there's one thing that sits underneath everything. It's environmental and global sustainability. To be honest, that's what sits underneath the whole message. Though, even if a piece looks, quite personal, it's always rooted in the bigger question, and which is how it's connected to the planet that we are rooted in. But here's one thing that's very important. I'm not trying to, with all the messages in my work, I am not trying to give an absolute, projection. I'm not trying to give an absolute projection of how this is how it should look, this is how the future should turn out, this is what way we should go. It's just me airing my voice in a way and hoping that it gets listened to, and hoping that it gets seen